Okay, so the final quarter-final in the Rugby League World Cup took place just now. Tonga were playing Samoa up in Warrington. What an absolutely brutal contest! It's probably one of the best matches of the World Cup so far. I believe it felt like an NRL finals match. It was that brutal, and it came down to a misconversion. That is literally what it came down to. Goal kicking has proven crucial in a knockout game, and this is when we're seeing teams like New Zealand and Australia, for example, missing kicks at goal early on in the tournament. If you were to do that in a key knockout game, which is close, it proves crucial. If Isiaya Katoa gets that early conversion, we're going to extra time right now as I'm recording this video. So a missed kick at goal has proven the difference. However, I do think the better team won, and Samoa slightly edged it. In my opinion, I think their halfbacks in Milford and Luai had better control than Lolohea and Katoa. Katoa has not had a lot of first grade experience, and Lolohea, the Super League style of play is different to the NRL style of play, and in when I've seen him play in the Super League, sometimes he does lose that control, especially in the Challenge Cup. I remember watching the Challenge Cup final when he was playing for Huddersfield. There was a little bit of loss of control at times, so I think Milford seems to have had a resurgence at this tournament. This is the best I've seen Anthony Milford play in 5 or 6 years, since the grand final in 2015. I think he has had a resurgence in confidence. I think his little brief spell at the Newcastle Knights and a change of scene in the NRL, and obviously getting a new contract with the Dolphins, has definitely helped Anthony Milford. But let's break down the game. I mean, it was an arm wrestle from the first kick-off, and it remained an arm wrestle till the very, very end. Jaden Sewer scores his try very early on 5 minutes. And while it's not the best try in the game, it sets the stall out early. Crichton gets the conversion. Now, the Daniel Tupou try is only 3 minutes later, so really the momentum is swinging violently at this point in the game. Before Jerome Luai responds with his try on 17 minutes, which Crichton converts. So Samoa, the pendulum of momentum early on, it was swinging for both sides, and it finally swings Samoa's way on 17 minutes. They were the better side in the first half. Tokiaho's try on 33 minutes is a response to that swinging momentum as the half wore on. Yes, Samoa had wave upon wave of possession, and the Tongans are not allowing their line to be breached, but Samoa are on top. Then Tokiaho gets his try on 33 minutes, and the momentum swings back Tonga's way at the end of the first half. So it's 10-12 at half time in favour of Samoa. Second half, it really was an arm wrestle. Tonga slightly on top, although they're not looking after the ball as well as Samoa. Too many forced offloads that are unnecessary, and just easing the pressure on Samoa by silly errors. But Isiaya Katoa scores the penalty on 50 minutes to level up at 12-all. So if he had got that conversion in the first half, they would have been leading at this point. Now, Stephen Crichton responds with a penalty on 57 minutes, so you can tell this is now going to be a tight game going forward. The Brian Toto try, happens on the following set. That is a shocking attempt at defusing a kick, and it results in an overlap. And so Brian Toto, there's no challenge on him. The Tongan defence completely misread the kick. Daniel Tupou is nowhere near it, and he's a great kick receiver. He's a great catcher of the ball. He could play in the AFL. If you follow the AFL, he's one of those kind of athletic players who could play in another code. And Brian Toto, that's probably the easiest try Brian Toto is probably going to score in his career. That's on 59 minutes. And at this point, you're thinking Samoa could every time they attack, they could blow Tonga out. But then they start forcing the pass unnecessarily. They're the ones in control. They just have to complete sets, get to kicks. And then Luai with possibly his worst play in the match. Kola Matangi traps the ball, little breakaway. Moses Suli, his run, and then the pass for Katoa. That is a brilliant counter. Probably one of the best tries in the tournament so far in such a tightly contested match on 72 minutes. Katoa converts, and again it's a 2-point game again. And it was a nail-biting finish, but game management, Samoa slightly better. The physicality, both sides were knocking lumps at each other. There were some massive hits. I noticed Joseph Swahili, he's been put on report for leading with a raised leg into a tackle, so that could be crucial going into the semi-final against England next weekend. He does enter contact with. He often raises his leading leg, leading with the knee, going into contact. I've noticed that since he's come into the NRL last season, a year and a bit ago. That's something that people have picked up on, and he's been put on report because of it. So that could be a disciplinary issue coming out of this game. I'm surprised there weren't any sin bins or send-offs, to be honest, with the rivalry between the two countries and the intensity in this match. There were some massive shots going in. Tyler May put on a massive hit in defence, which he had no business making in the first half. Absolutely huge tackle he put in. Smaller guy and a bigger guy on Kolo Matangi absolutely drilled him. But the game management, kick options, Anthony Milford played very, very well today. He didn't miss a single tackle, and defensively he's been picked out before in games where he hasn't been defensively up to it. So Milford's really knuckled down in this Samoa camp, and he's really knuckled down. He's been putting some performances in, and when Samoa play England, this is a different, confident Samoan side. Now they were completely blitzed on opening day. This semi-final, Samoa England, is going to be a completely different beast. This is the Samoa we expected to turn up, and Tonga. I mean, they got to the semi-finals in 2017, and they possibly should have made the final, in my opinion. I was very clear on that 5 years ago when I did my match review on the England Tonga game all those years ago, which was one of the most popular videos on the channel. But I think Samoa on the day deserved just to slightly edge it. And we'll see what they can do against England, and we'll see if Joseph Swahili is suspended or not, or gets away with some penalty points and fined, because he was put on report early on in the first half. So there we go. Samoa slightly edging a brutal but thoroughly entertaining encounter up in Warrington to seal out the quarter-final stage. The women's tournament obviously is in the group stage. That's now continuing, and of course we will get to their semi-final stage, I believe, at the same time as the men. So there'll be some double headers, I believe, towards the end of the tournament. And so we'll look at the knockout stages of the women's tournament in due course. But there's a couple more group games today with Australia and New Zealand both playing. They're the two favourites for the women's tournament, although they will meet in the group stage in the final group game, which will be fantastic. But there we go. Samoa slightly edged Tonga in the last quarter. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.